Everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video I am doing my own nails. So here I am just removing basically just the gel polish off the top. This hand is literally just quick tips and they are made of gel and they soak off really easily. So I'm not like debulking as such, I'm just taking off the colour so the acetone can penetrate easier. You will notice that I'm like looking a bit odd, and that's because I'm doing my opposite hand. So I'm using my non-dominant hand here to file my dominant hand. So obviously you can tell that I am using the e-file at a different angle. I am using my dominant hand to move around a lot to try and prevent myself from having to use my left hand too much, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm also obviously much more gentle and do things at a much slower pace just to make sure that everything is nice and safe. Obviously don't usually do that, which is one of the reasons I decided to film this today, is because I'm sick of ruining my own nails. So I thought if I filmed it I would be more careful, so here we are. So yeah, I'm just removing that gel polish off. So like I said, when I do come to soak off, the acetone will penetrate a lot easier into that soft gel that the quick tips are made from. So yeah, just filing them down, filing the length down a little bit as well, because there's no point actually soaking off length that you're going to be taking off anyway. It's just a waste of time. So yeah. I'm now just getting out my remover wraps ready. These are the ones that have the foil and cotton basically attached to each other. I just get them from Amazon. They're super cheap, especially if you look around a bit more. Make sure that you don't just jump at the first one you see. So I've just obviously soaked them off using those. I just put some acetone on there and then left them for a good 10 minutes and then just took off the excess, and now I'm just prepping my nails for me to be able to do them again. So I'm just pushing my cuticles back and removing any dead skin from around that area. Well, I'm not really removing the dead skin. I would usually, but because it's my opposite hand it's a bit awkward. So I'm just basically lifting the nail bed from this, what am I trying to say? Lifting the nail bed, I've lost the plot. I'm lifting my cuticle from the nail bed to be able to get rid of the dead skin eventually. Just take everything I say within this video with a pinch of salt. It's been a long few days and obviously don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm just going to say I'm pushing back my cuticles because that is what I'm using this bit to do. I've got it on a really low speed and I'm using it very gently because obviously this is my other hand. So I want to be very careful, just dusting off any excess dust to have a look if there's anything more I need to do. Then if not, I can go ahead, cut the length down, because these are my natural nails and I've mentioned 100 times before that they are super thin, not in very good condition because I have abused them over the years. So I'm just taking off all the length and then I will go in and cut my cuticles. I think I did it off camera just because it's awkward angle and stuff like that with doing your opposite hand. So I did that away from you because it was just difficult under the camera. So here I'm just shaping the free edge just to make sure there's no real sharp bits or anything. And then we can get going with buffing and prep and, you know, just getting ready for application. So this sanding band is on a low speed. It is a 240 grit sanding band, and it looks like I'm being really aggressive, but I'm not. I am being very gentle, because all you need to do is just rough up the nail a little bit. You don't want to cause any damage or burning sensations. So once I've done that, I'm then going to pick the right size tip for my nails, making sure that they reach completely from one side wall to the other. You don't want a single tiny bit of gap, because it can cause all sorts of problems. You can get lifting, you can get pain in the nails if it's not the right size, it can ping off, there's all sorts of things that can go wrong with incorrectly sized tips. So don't try and make your nails look a bit smaller by picking a smaller tip. If the smallest tip for that size range is too big, well, basically, if you end up with one that's just too small or too big, use the one that's too big and just cut it down a little bit on the sides, but make sure you cut off the same amount from each side so it's still nice and even. So I'm just comparing the size or the length of the nails with the other hand, just to make sure that I am on track to getting similar. I'm not too bothered about my own nails being the exact same length. It doesn't really bother me, as long as they're similar enough. So I'm just going ahead and doing that, and then we can get on to shaping them. So for this shape, this almond shape I'm doing, I'm just cutting off the corners with these types of nail clippers. If I was doing a coffin, I'd use straight edge nail clippers, because then obviously it will basically create the straight edges for you, and all you need to do is just make sure that they're nice and flush with the side walls of your natural nail. But because this is almond and this is the shape that I need them to be anyway, I'm just making it easier for myself by cutting off the corners. So all I need to do is just a little bit of filing into shape, instead of really working the file and filing a lot off. It's just a bit of a waste of time. So once I've checked that they're all similar, I'm just going in and filing them. This is just a quick time lapse because it's pretty boring. And then once they're all filed, we can get onto application. Turns out that doing anything with your non-dominant hand on camera is actually really, really difficult. So I did find this really difficult. I mean, I don't really enjoy doing my other hand anyway. It's not something that's ever very fun, but this was actually much harder than it even is normally. So that's why it all looks a bit like backwards and not upside down and back to front. It's because it sort of is. But anyway, we got there in the end. I think I only did like maybe 1 or 2 nails on camera, and then I just sort of skipped past it, because applying glitter is way more exciting than applying acrylic anyway. So I'm just making sure that it's like as close to how I want it to look as possible with application, because especially on this hand, I don't want to have to do a hell of a lot of filing into shape and structure. So I do try and get it as close to what I want it to be like as possible at the very beginning, to save me having to mess about filing for so long, because it's awkward with your other hand. So once we've finished applying all the acrylic on all of the nails, obviously we just need to refine now. So I'm just refining the shape with a hand file. This is pretty much all I use a hand file for, since I've been using sanding bands. And then I'll use my sanding band to file into shape and refine, well, not into shape as in free edge shape, but refine the actual nail itself, make sure there's no lumps and bumps. So I am actually painting the other hand now, because obviously I want them both to be the same. So instead of me doing everything back to front, I thought I'll just sort out my right hand, and then I can take everything off my left and then just paint the left hand so it doesn't look quite as odd on camera for you guys. So this is Sweet Coraline. It's an absolutely beautiful colour from Magpie Beauty. It's one of their gel polishes, and this last summer was so popular. It was absolutely crazy. I used it every day at least once for about 2 weeks. It was insane. But yeah, so I'm just painting this all over my nails first of all, and then I'm going to be using a glitter from Sparkle Supplies UK to give them something extra, because I can't have nails with no glitter on. It's a bit weird. You're probably thinking, this is really, really bright, and it's literally February. Well, now March since when you're watching this video, but You know what? I don't care. As soon as they announced that nail techs in England might be able to start work on the 12th of April, my mind just went straight to like spring. So if you're wondering why I'm suddenly like living the spring summer life, it's because that's what's going on in my brain at the moment. So just go with it. It's fine. I'm loving brights lately, so we're just going to go with it. So I haven't actually cured this gel polish yet, so I'm just tapping this over the top of every single nail, and then I will cure afterwards. So it kind of cures it stuck, if that makes sense. This technique doesn't work for every glitter. If it had really chunky bits in, I probably wouldn't apply it like this, because you end up getting loads of bits that are sticking up and it's just a bit of a pain and a bit of a faff. So this glitter is like a medium. There isn't any really large pieces, so it's handy. So I'm just using my Magpie duster brush now. This is after I have cured. Obviously don't do this before you've cured, else you'll just wipe it all off. And then before I do anything else, I'm just going around the outsides, not around the free edge, to make sure that there is no bits sticking out of the side walls or the free edge, just to make sure there's no sharp bits or anything before I start coating them again. And then to make sure that they're nice and smooth, I will use, I think I used Build Me Up in this one. I usually use Give Me Strength, but for some reason I went with Build Me Up. I don't know why. So this is Clear Build Me Up, which is Magpie Beauty's Builder in a bottle. And that is what I am using to make them all nice and smooth. You can build this obviously, so you only have to do one coat of it, which is probably why I did this. Whereas on a client I'd do Give Me Strength because it is thinner, but I am lazy on my own nails, so I do everything as quick as possible. So I'm just popping a thin layer down and then just making sure there's a little bit more that will float around, just to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. That's just what I'm doing here. And then we can cure that and go on to the next step. So once that's cured, I'm now going in with some isopropyl alcohol. I'm using Prep and Dehydrate from Magpie Beauty, but you can use whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's pretty much just a bit of acetone and isopropyl alcohol. You could probably make it yourself, but there you go. So I've just wiped the tacky layer off of Build Me Up, and I'm now going around with my file to make sure that, again, there is no bits that are really sharp around the outsides and the shape is still how I want it. 'Cause sometimes when you add gel on top, especially thick gel like a builder gel, you can kind of ruin the shape and make it look a bit bulky. So yeah, I just basically make sure that it's still the same shape that I want and they're still nice and slim and narrow. So I also just used the file to buff any bits that were sticking up, like if there's any sharp areas on top of the nail, just use my file very gently to just file those away. So that is why some of it looks a bit rough, as you can see here. I just filed away the really sticky up bits and then buffed gently everywhere else just to make sure it was all nice and smooth. And now it is on to the best bit, which is obviously top coating. And once I've done that, all I need to do is apply some nice cuticle oil and a hand cream, and that is this done. I obviously do them with the hand, but I didn't do that on this one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked it. Obviously it's nice and simple because it is literally just a full glitter set, but you know, why not? I can't ever go wrong with glitter, so why not have it everywhere I can put it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and it would let me know that these are the types of videos that you enjoy. And if you don't already, then please subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 AM as usual. Bye.